because I wanted to do it so bad. And my idea of success was having a record deal. I finally got a record deal, and I was doing fun clubs, little clubs. So I said, so when do I get to do a tour? And they laughed at me. And they were like, a tour? Well, because Madonna did, and they would just be like, what's with the Madonna? You know, Madonna's different. And so there was the, you can't do it. And I said, oh, okay. So I was on a mission. Everywhere I went, any show I did, I talked to everybody. So what do you do? Who do you know? Do you know anyone? Do you know people who know Madonna? And I was a little obsessed with that. And then eventually, it led me to another producer, who led me to someone at Atlantic. And by then, I was about to release my 4th single, which was Temptation. And as soon as it came out, it almost immediately went top 40. And I was still under this small label. And they didn't know what to do. They couldn't make enough records to sell, because they were used to making a certain amount of records. They were used to selling 10 to 15,000 units a month, you know, and maybe 50,000 units of an entire song after 2 years of its release. That was huge for them, because they just needed to cover their bills, and they weren't paying us anything. So
they still play that song on the radio, 103.5. Like,
yeah.
And when was it released? Like,
which one, Temptation?
Yeah.
91. Yeah, long time. So, the point of this all is, I've made a lot of mistakes. I still continue to make mistakes, but I've led a very, very blessed life. And I've been able to do wonderful things for my friends and my family. And I, in return, have just the most amazing, most incredible friends that would do anything for me. You want to know who you are, just look at the people that are around you. They're a mirror of who you are, of how you feel about yourself. There's nothing in life that you cannot do. Nothing. And anything that doesn't feel good, and I'm talking about relationships too. Something doesn't feel right, it's just not right. And there's always something bigger, better, a better opportunity to love. And always choose love. Always choose love. And when you're upset about something and there's a challenge that shows up, ask yourself, what would love do? Like, if I take myself out of the equation right now, if I take the anger out, what would love do? And the money always comes. If you feel successful, the money finds you. The money finds you. You can't chase money. You just have to do what feels right to you. And the money just, I'm telling you, I went from having nothing to stepping in it huge. You know, I did weekends. I mean, and this shouldn't matter, but just to give you an idea, money is, it's paper. You know, I would do a weekend and come home with $40,000 in cash, and that was half of the balance owed to me from a show. You know, food stamps and government cheese. I didn't know what the hell to do with all that money. And I did the whole throwing it up in the air, rolling around with it in the bed for a while. You know, I mean, and then the IRS knocked on my door. I had to give them a lot of it, you know, because I've made a lot of mistakes. Just whatever it is you want to do, I'm telling you, you can do anything. Anything, yes.
What do you feel is the one talent that is above all others? Is it your writing? Is it your acting? Is it your singing? Is it your business sense? What do you feel is that one thing?
For me.
For you. Because you do all of those things extremely well. What is it you feel that is, if the spirit would cut away other things, that one thing, talent-wise, that you feel you're the best at?
My writing.
Your writing.
Yeah. I find that because I'm willing to share everything, even the scariest things, and then tell you that when I write it, the stuff that comes up, the healing stuff, I mean, I've healed myself of just so many challenges that I've created for myself through my writing. So yeah, which is why I'm writing the book, because I think it's taking me to whatever that next level is. Anyone else?
how do you feel your education at CUNY John Jay has shaped your music career, your career in general?
You know, information is incredibly important. Knowledge is incredibly important, but knowledge is only potential power because it's what you do with what you learned. Sometimes you learn things in the most unlikely places and from the most unlikely sources, you know. John Jay was incredibly important for me because I made a promise to my father, which was, you know, my father didn't believe in the creative. My father was a very physical, very hardworking man. He was very strong in all the work he did all his life. You know, he had very little money, but he worked hard and long hours. And so my father believed that some people suffered and other people just had a lot of money. My father didn't think he could have. And so he'd say to me, if you don't go to school, if you don't get an education, you're not going to be able to do anything or be anyone that anyone cares to be a part of. And I agree with him to some extent, except that I believed that I could do anything. So the deal I made was that up until I got a record deal, that I would stay in school, and that meant that I had to go to college, which is how I wound up in John Jay, and that if I was going to take anything up, it would be criminal justice, because I'm so fascinated by people and why they do the things they do. Like, I don't do drugs and I don't drink because I'm scared to death of losing what I would consider control of my now. So I don't do any of it. But I'm fascinated by people that do. You know, Britney Spears and Amy Winehouse has been a huge thing for me. Because I don't understand how people can just give everything up that way. You know, and so I love to study people. And John Jay College and criminal justice for me was also about a sense of, I was keeping my word, which is why I'm here today, in this moment. And it was forcing me to do things in a very structured way. As an artist, I tend to be everywhere. The reason why I write and I sing and I perform and I do all those things, it's not because I was always so great at them. In fact, oftentimes I think I need to work on it a little bit more. It's because I have to be at different places, all kinds of places all at once. And school taught me that I needed to be in that class at this time. I needed to turn in that report at this time. It was about structure. It was about respecting myself. It was about educating myself.